Hi there. All right, everybody, welcome here to this video. Specifically, welcome here to the Ramble. Sorry about that. Anyways, welcome everybody to Steve's Wrestling Ramble here tonight. Looking forward to the Greatest Royal Rumble event that will be taking place in Saudi Arabia tomorrow afternoon. We'll be doing live reactions during the show and otherwise, but here tonight wanted to do my prediction of the show, talk about it. Like I said, I'm looking forward to it. Stack card, it's going to be a pretty good show for sure. And I know things are going to go really well for it. And I know that there are going to be some title changes, new champions we crowned at the show. I do see some titles changing hands. We're also crowning a new Raw Tag Team Champion because of what happened at WrestleMania. So it's going to be intriguing as well. But then again, the next week, already on the show, we'll have another prediction because what predictions for Backlash? WWE Backlash is going to be the following Sunday. And that's going to really be when finally everything dust settles, clears, and everything. And that's thinking doing with the championships. Meaning the Superstar shakeup happened. Superstars moved to SmackDown. Superstars moved to Raw. The championships went with them, or at least in the case of Jinder Mahal. Then Jeff Hardy won, then he went to SmackDown. Point being is, though, still, we won't find out truly, until next Saturday. And that's Saturday. Or that's Sunday, I'm sorry. For the WWE Backlash pay-per-view event where the titles are going, meaning the Intercontinental and Intercontinental and United States specifically. Now the Universal and World are going to be staring on those brands no matter what. Whoever wins tomorrow afternoon or next Sunday night at WWE Backlash. Either way, those two titles are staying on Raw and SmackDown Live respectively. But it's the Intercontinental Championship. It's the United States Championship. That's, who knows? It'd be up in the air. Just to say it that way. Because it could go either way. Let alone either way tonight. Actually, you can have a situation where, at least for 1 week, you have the Intercontinental title and the U.S. title on one brand. I.e., you have Jinder Mahal win the U.S. title, the title that come in Raw, and Seth Rollins successfully defends his title. So for 1 week, you have those two championships on one brand. Then, obviously something's going to happen at Backlash where one of the titles go over to the SmackDown Live brand. You could have that. I know people would be losing their their if that did happen. But people need to calm down and relax, because if that situation does happen, though I don't think it will, but if it did, because sometimes WWE likes to troll their own fans because they can. And it works, and they get the reactions. In the end, in this era, reaction to the biggest thing, because it gets people talking, social media and otherwise. WWE gets a lot of mentions, gets a lot of traffic, imprint, as it's called, impressions on tweets and otherwise for WWE, and this and that. So that works, and that's best for business. But I'm trying to let you know, and I'm sure some other YouTubers that have thought of this idea besides me are trying to let you know that will only be happening for 1 week, because WWE is a smart company, know what they're doing, and at Backlash, when that dust settles and clears, the Intercontinental Championship, the U.S. title, will not be on the same brand. But it certainly would be intriguing, and for me, being the type of person I am and my personality-wise, would actually want that to see the reaction, for all honesty. Not for myself because I want that, because I want to see the reaction of people, to see the reaction of people on Twitter or Facebook, otherwise on the social media accounts, Instagram or whatever, however, blogosphere and fan pages on Facebook, and otherwise in the latter of their reaction to that, if that does happen. Or Jinder Mahal doesn't win. All right? I know I'm a big fan of Jinder Mahal, but if Jinder Mahal, Monday Maharaja, does not win back his United States Championship, and Jeff Hardy retains it and takes it back to SmackDown Live, and The Miz or Samoa Joe win the Intercontinental Championship, then both titles are on the brand of SmackDown Live for 1 week, right? So either way, I think I would like to see that actually happen. And obviously here in a few moments, I'll give my prediction to what I think is going down in Jeddah, Saudi Arabia, Greatest Royal Rumble, that grand event that will be on the WWE Network for 6 hours, including the pre-show. The main show is noon to 5 p.m. Central. And then, but with adding the pre-show that starts at 11 a.m. Central there, and that's going to be total 6 hours, of course, simple math, mental math there. 6 hours of WWE programming on the WWE Network for that show, Greatest Royal Rumble. Now, I know I heard the news and the thing about, no women's going to be there, of course, and respecting that culture. Again, I said in one of my reviews, I think SmackDown Live review, respect that culture. Though we don't agree with it, though we're honest here in the East. In the West, doesn't mean we need to little degrade what other cultures are. So respect their ways, hope they change. But again, that's their business, not ours. Because we're America does not mean we need to stick our nose in other people's business. That's not our job. It's our job to fix our own stuff going on here in America than to force our opinions on others, whether right or wrong, of what we think. But either way, moving on to the actual event, as we're talking about Raw and SmackDown first, talking about that. I know I talked about that in my reviews of said show, Raw and SmackDown Live. Pretty good, quote-unquote, go-home shows to this event. Just kind of weird, like, this is not an actual pay-per-view. It's just a big, grand event. And when I first heard, I was like, okay, we're having this greatest Royal Rumble ever, but why don't we actually have it for that show, But be what it be. Excuse me. But either way, it's going to be pretty dang good. And how the shows went about both on Raw and SmackDown Live, especially SmackDown Live. I would say won the week. SmackDown Live beating Raw, at least for me personally, and how the shows went. But either way, both showed that impression and intrigue for me of what's going to be happening at Greatest Royal Rumble tomorrow. So I know I'm certainly pumped, ready, and really able to see how everything plays out at the said event, because I think this event is going to do pretty dang well. I guess for me, I'll just go over my thoughts and predictions here through the matches. First, we have the Cruiserweight title match, Cedric Alexander facing Kalisto. Cedric's on the championship. He's going to have a nice long reign as the Cruiserweight champion. I got Cedric Alexander getting the win and retaining his title. The next one, Intercontinental Championship match, Seth Rollins versus The Miz versus Finn Balor versus Samoa Joe. My official prediction, I'm going to go with The Miz. I'm going to go with The Miz becoming the new Intercontinental Champion. I think it makes sense to have him be the champion again. You have Miz and Joe for meanwhile, or you have with, not Baron Corbin. He's now on Raw. But with Big Cass now on SmackDown Live, have him mixed there in that title picture. In general, you have the Miz Cass feud after Cass feuds with Daniel Bryan. Either way, it's going to be pretty good, and it makes sense to have the Miz a champion, actually champion again, and have that title going over to SmackDown Live, going Blue Brand. SmackDown Tag Team titles, the Bludgeon Brothers facing the Usos. Uso won on SmackDown Live on Tuesday night with the distraction of Naomi and her music. Okay, and whatever. Bludgeon Brothers didn't think a team like that would be entranced by that, but whatever. Got the roll of victory, and with that victory, it's just I'm thinking that the Bludgeon Brothers are going to be retaining their SmackDown Tag Team titles. There is their way, but I just think it makes the greatest sense here at the Greatest Royal Rumble to have the Bludgeon Brothers retain that title. The next match is interesting in the way of what do they have planned for the bar. We have Bray Wyatt and Woken Matt Hardy facing the bar. Sheamus and Cesaro to crown new Raw Tag Team Champions. I'm actually going to go with Sheamus and Cesaro officially for my pick, and I have them going back to Raw. I was very surprised that they were picked up, signed, so to speak, because it's not a draft and it's not trades. So signed over to SmackDown Live, picked up there and shake up everybody, available to shake the rosters up. But I don't actually see Sheamus and Cesaro actually literally going over to SmackDown Live. I just don't. I see them helping out that Raw Tag Team division and staying there. And then being that good, again, a flagship show. You want to have your best tag teams there. As much as I do like the tag team division on SmackDown Live, it's just best for Sheamus and Cesaro to stay on Raw. So I think Sheamus and Cesaro win, go back to Raw, be the champions again. Have Bray and Matt continue to have that journey of trying to capture it, and maybe capture it in a later date in another pay-per-view. And it doesn't always have to be SummerSlam or WrestleMania, right? There are other pay-per-views, especially now that they're all dual branded. They all matter, right? Hopefully. So, at a pay-per-view in the future, have Bray Wyatt and Woken Matt Hardy win the Raw Tag Team titles, but not right now, not right away. But I do see how people would think this was so obvious because of Sheamus going to SmackDown Live and being signed over there and now being officially, as of right now, part of that brand. That it should automatically be Bray Wyatt and Woken Matt Hardy because it's the Raw Tag Team titles. But never say never with WWE, so that's why I'm being a little weird and different. And I'm going with Sheamus and Cesaro as my pick to retain the championship, or not retain, but to become again the Raw Tag Team Champions. I guess I'll move right along. The U.S. I'm just checking and seeing if people did join in here. Moving right along, U.S. Championship match. Jeff Hardy versus Jinder Mahal. I have Jinder Mahal winning the title and taking it to Raw. There's just plain simple in that thinking for me for that matchup right there. WWE Championship match, AJ Styles, Shinsuke Nakamura. I have AJ Styles retaining the WWE Championship. Due to disqualification, Shinsuke low blowing. AJ again, because that seems to be the story. And plus, it gives you a reason to have another match with those two at Backlash the very next week, or that, upcoming weekend, the next. So, John Cena versus Triple H. I got John Cena defeating Triple H there in that one-on-one contest. Undertaker versus Rusev. Taker bearing Rusev softly, winning the casket match there. Universal Championship match, Brock Lesnar versus Roman Reigns in the steel cage. I actually have Brock Lesnar retaining, so I wouldn't be surprised if Roman won. Especially depending on where it is on the card. But for me, I'm going with Brock Lesnar. Then we have the historic first ever 50-man greatest Royal Rumble match in that sense, and that's certainly going to be fun and awesome. And from WWE.com that I have here, the announced participants on the website. I heard also that Davari, Hornswoggle, and some others were already spotted in Saudi Arabia to be part of the Rumble, but these are the ones officially announced through WWE.com for this match specifically. Also, I saw a caption of other do rehearsals and whatever of Mike Bennett being number 22 entrant. So watch out for that. See if that actually was a real thing or not. 22, the 22nd entrant in the 50-man Royal Rumble, greatest ever, biggest thing, awesomeness of Rumbles. If he is actually number 22. Mike Bennett, Mike Kanellis. Either way. But anyways, these are the official ones. Daniel Bryan, Braun Strowman, Kurt Angle, Shane McMahon, Y2J, Chris Jericho, recently retired Mark Henry, coming out of retirement for this one match. Rey Mysterio Jr., Elias, Kevin Owens, The Great Khali, Bobby Roode, Lone Wolf, Baron Corbin, Big E, Kofi Kingston, Xavier Woods, Apollo Crews. Look at that, he got his last name back. Apollo Crews, Shelton Benjamin, Sin Cara, Chad Gable, Goldust, Taz O'Neil, Mojo Rawley, and Ziggles. Ziggler announced there to be part of this greatest Royal Rumble. So, who do I have? Who do I officially predict to win said greatest Royal Rumble? Well, boys and girls, men and women, my official prediction for this match, I would say that the winner to be someone. No, honestly, it'd be awesome to actually have either Big Cass or Daniel Bryan get the win. But I think they might cancel each other out. The Miz as well in that scenario. So no Daniel Bryan. Sorry to everybody that loves Daniel Bryan. But for me, actually, I'll go with what probably most are saying. And I'm not going to say it as enthusiastic as they are, but I do enjoy this superstar. And that is Braun Strowman. Braun Strowman, seeing him win this greatest, biggest awesomeness of Royal Rumbles ever. Seeing Braun Strowman get winning this trophy that the winner gets. No title opportunities, none of that jazz like the regular and quote-unquote real Royal Rumble does. That happens every January. Well, it's a nice special event. Good to have in Saudi Arabia. WWE doing your business-wise, making that money. And I can't confront them. They are a business trying to grow in other markets in the world. For those that live in Saudi Arabia that might be watching right now or watching archive, welcome to let me know in the comment section below. You're intrigued. Did you enjoy the show? Like if you watch this afterwards, just fine, dude. Just let me know so I know. Last time I checked my analytics, I did see some Middle Eastern countries that watch my videos. A number of people, so that's pretty cool. So a shout out to everybody there in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, and specifically everybody there in Jeddah, Saudi Arabia. It's going to be a great place. Everything looks looking well for the stadium and the setup and how it looks there in the stadium for said event. So they're making it a big thing of it, as they should. Getting this opportunity to have this show there and having more shows in the next 10 years with the contract they now have there with the sporting authorities there in Saudi Arabia. Looking forward to that. And just remember, that's, what was it, months ago, a year ago, whatever, Sasha Banks and the beautiful Alexa Bliss now has bigger tits because she had breast enhancement surgery. Had their first ever women's match in a country like that. So, progress. And for Saudi Arabia specifically, it seems like their government is trying to modernize, join the West in that kind of smart logic thinking. But again, we don't want to, as Americans, don't force them to think the way we do the things we do. Their own country, their own government, they have their own business to do what they feel is best for business. But hopefully in time, again, it's a 10-year contract. At some point, we might have women not only in matches, but main eventing. Or if they really want to do things, especially if, things change and their rules and pertain to women in their culture, in their country, their kingdom, as it's called, is could have a women's only show for WWE. This technically is a men's only in a way. Women's only. We only have women's title matches, women's one-on-one matches, and a women's Royal Rumble match. Since now that is a thing. First annual was this year, January 2018. Well, continue that. So it certainly would be kind of cool. Sorry about that, but if that actually happened and that was the case, moving forward for that. But like I said, I want to give a shout out to those in Saudi Arabia that are watching this video or any of my videos, as well as all others in the Middle East as well. Thank you for coming here to this channel. But just let me know how things have gone over there, how interactions may have gone between yourself or people you know, meeting wrestlers, and just how you think everything was done. Meaning how it's done, trade with WWE being there and I like, because I certainly be interested to see from a person that lives there day to day on how they received and how the event went and how buzz throughout Jeddah and Saudi Arabia overall was during this whole entire week, my birthday week, and also the week of the Greatest Royal Rumble event. So just wanted to give that shout out. I do think I do have a couple people watching live, so thank you. Welcome to like the video. And share, leave a comment if you wish to, and your thoughts, your predictions as well. Be shy. I'm proud to share your thoughts on the pay-per-view, or not pay-per-view, but special events. I'll be on the WWE Network tomorrow. Excuse me, tomorrow afternoon, because I certainly do think it's going to be pretty good. And I will be doing live reactions. I'll be doing live reactions for it. I'll be doing live reactions for the Undertaker Rusev casket match, Roman Reigns Brock Lesnar Universal title match, and the 50-man Royal Rumble match itself. So, excuse me. So all of that, I think I will be giving my live reaction to each of those individual matches. So I'm just gonna stay on here a little bit longer, see if any of my teammates or others join in, give their thoughts on the pay-per-view, or not the pay-per-view of the event. I keep calling it pay-per-view because it seems like it's been booked, and the match card being as stacked as it is, seems like it is a mini Royal Rumble or mini WrestleMania show, and we just had that 2 weeks ago. Like WrestleMania Light, or WrestleMania Part 2. So it certainly will be pretty good. Just give me one moment. I'm gonna go check my telephone and see if anybody is joining the fun. Hopefully, and hear the people's thoughts on where you see things going for the Royal Rumble event, this great Royal Rumble event in Jeddah, Saudi Arabia. Just checking. Hopefully things go well, and hopefully, this show proves to be as good as it looks on paper. The card is stacked, and you're having the Royal Rumble, big Royal Rumble match. You're having these championship matches, and then you have the Triple H John Cena match that's turned randomly and otherwise, but still going to be a pretty good show. And certainly look forward to see how everything goes in that sense. Yeah, the NFL draft here is starting in a minute, but like I said, hopefully some of my teammates are able to join me here tonight to share their thoughts on this grand event that is Royal Rumble. Pretty much actually like actual news and stuff like going on. And I could check here. Let's see if there's any big news. There's that news about Alexa Bliss. That's why she really wasn't as active in that match on Raw, because she just had the breast enhancement surgery and otherwise, so that's cool. Haven't she was on before, but again, I'm just checking if there's any breaking news or news. Excuse me, at all. I haven't pertaining to the event and otherwise, or WWE news. But then again, WWE themselves don't share. But I just seen in general if there's rumors and news that maybe I haven't picked up on. If you're watching live, you're welcome to let me know if there are some news stories you want me to bring up here while I'm waiting to see if people join in to share their predictions for the greatest Royal Rumble event. But I'm trying to just look it up here on Twitter because sometimes Twitter is the best one. I did see a video on WWE.com though, specifically. Ty Dillinger calling R-Truth. That was actually pretty cool. R-Truth for getting.
What's up, man? Look, where you at?
His locations and otherwise. Oh yeah, Andrade Cien Almas is going to be coming soon to SmackDown Live. Looking forward to whenever that be. Or here's someone tweeting out about, it could be a new table for three, because it would be pretty cool to have these three. That's Brock Lesnar, Kurt Angle, and The Undertaker. But yeah. Dean Ambrose return coming soon. Oh, hearing that Shawn Michaels was offered a lot of money to return at the Greatest Royal Rumble, but he has declined. Heath Slater being awesome here. I mean, I know he might not be going as great as Jinder Mahal and Drew McIntyre, part of the 3MB. But hey, he seems like a fun-loving, awesome dude himself. But anyways, I was just checking to see if there's any news. Like I said, I don't see anybody jumping in here in the Google Hangout unless someone's here and I don't see them because I'm looking online on here on my laptop. So I'm not looking directly in the Google Hangout to see if people out here know. But either way, it's going to be a good show in Jeddah, Saudi Arabia. And I certainly look forward to. See how it goes down. I'll just wait here a little bit. Again, I apologize for the silence here. Just wanted to see team members or otherwise join in. I did send the link to a couple people. So we'll see. I mean, I sent it out to the usuals, my show guests and Wrestling Ramble team members. Sorry, just replying to my team members. So if they're able to join. If not, they might be busy too. They might be watching the draft with their families, let alone by themselves. So if they're unable to, they're unable to. I just wanted to see and wanted to stay on live in case they can. And then, this podcast, this video, this episode will be straight to fire. It'll be lit. It'll be good. It'll be entertaining. It's more entertaining than just me. Let's get this draft started. I don't know. Hey, look, there's Troy Aikman. Hey, you're in Dallas, Texas. What do you expect to happen? You're on their stadium. Or not on their stadium, you're at their stadium. On their football field. Yeah. So there's the opening bell, so to speak. Opening this NFL meeting. Because that's technically what the draft was. Like at one point, it certainly was like an actual meeting of this NFL draft. So each year they technically, ran and started like it is actually that. Interesting in that sense, but right. Just checking.
What is those to say it's in your stadium? The record.
Be quiet, I'm still on here. Nobody talk. Dang it. Shh. All right, come on, guys. Where are my team members? Well, I guess no one wants to show up. Come on. Mm. Mm.
So Cleveland is where they were a year ago, hoping that this year will not mean that they're back in this exact same spot for a third straight year. And one of the problems with the Cleveland Browns continuing to be either at the top or near the top of the draft is this. All the quarterbacks since 1999, less than 20 as they sit.
All right, running the clock. And otherwise, yes, go Pack, go.
in December of 2016. Been here, done that with Cleveland. New sheriff in town, in John Dorsey-Bell. What do they have to do with the quarterback spot this time? Under a guy, they got a lot of options. I think the surprise.
Excuse me, sorry about that. Just waiting here. Still seeing if any of them are able to join. Maybe not, probably not. But either way, hope they help. Hope you guys. I guess I should just stop right now then. And they let me down. Unfortunate, but seems to be that is the case. Either way, thanks for listening to this episode. Hopefully my team will really join me next week. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm just waiting here just a little bit, seeing if they will join in. Text back or otherwise. Or just randomly, 3 people join the Google Hangout. That'd be kind of cool. They all just join in at once, talking with each other, and then joining, popping in with me. Then you're in your moments during this draft. Oh, I don't know if that's sent out sister or girlfriend, but she looks pretty cute. All right. Hey. Come on, man. Well, I guess I'll just end it since it's a lot of silence here and randomness. Again, if you have your own show, then you're good. I'm surprised they're still taking time.
Hey, Steve, can you hear me, bro?
Oh, hey.
How you doing, man?
How you doing, Rambo?
I'm great. How's everything going? Ready for this greatest Royal Rumble, man?
Yeah, I'm looking for. I mean, the card is stacked, and I was talking about here during the show earlier with people that it's like a mini WrestleMania. You had WrestleMania only 2 weeks ago, right? So having still in the same month two events, one pay per view, one special event, and having them in the same month and them both being as stacked as they are to be here, I think this greatest Royal Rumble event in Saudi Arabia on the WWE Network is going to be pretty good. So, with the time and that's how it be, being noon Central to 5 p.m. Central, and being 6 hours total with the 1 hour pre-show, I'm looking forward to it. What are you looking forward to the most with this greatest Royal Rumble event, or you're hyped for it tomorrow?
Honestly, man, I'm excited for pretty much about everything. I feel like this is going to be better than the Royal Rumble. I mean, better than WrestleMania. Honestly, considering looking at the card is stacked. I'm talking literally every match is a match you don't want to miss. And I'm sure because from what I've been told and what I've been hearing in regards of how much they put into this Saudi Arabia contract deal, it's gonna be huge. Every match I'm looking forward to. I'm going to be, in classes and stuff like that, and I'm going to be watching this as I'm just going to be so in tune. I'm not even going to remember anything that walks past me. Every time I have the opportunity, I'm going to watch that Royal Rumble because it is going to be amazing.
And for me, I'm looking to have the day off, so I'll be watching the whole event at home. I'll be doing 3 live reactions: one for Undertaker versus Rusev, the casket match, one for the Royal Rumble match itself, the greatest ever, biggest Royal Rumble, 50 man to win a trophy. And then the other match I'm going to be live reacting to is the Universal title match. Brock Lesnar to face, Roman Reigns, that guy. So having those 3 matches are going to be what I'm live reacting to. I guess for you, I guess we'll talk about first Monday Night Raw, SmackDown Live. I don't know if you're able to see both or any, with your busy week and otherwise. What were your thoughts on the shows, Raw and SmackDown, the quote-unquote go-home shows to this special event?
I am honestly looking forward. I really liked SmackDown. I'm not going to lie to you. SmackDown was probably like the best out of the Raw and SmackDown. Once again, Nakamura and Styles, they're just tearing the house down. We have the nut crusher Nakamura himself, and to scratch that, his theme song is really dope, really, really, really dope. Like I really like it. I thought when I heard he was gonna have a new theme, I was like, they're gonna botch this one up, and it's really, really good. Like I like the Japanese lyrics, and the guy, he's like almost has like a hard rock feel to it, and then you still have the violin in tune, but it's just making it more aggressive. I love this. I love this Nakamura theme. And Nakamura, the Nut Crusher himself, is doing what he does best. Just SmackDown is honestly on a roll. They're developing a lot of people, especially Big Cass. Like Big Cass, he cut an amazing promo, or if you want to call it a promo, or shoot, or whatever you want to call it. He cut it. He did it perfectly. The Miz is there. We're going to see a lot of good stuff on SmackDown, and I really cannot wait because 2018 is going to be seriously good for SmackDown Live. All they got to do is get rid of Road Dogg. I mean, unless Road Dogg is not the head creative guy, then they need to get rid of him.
Yeah, I mean, I think SmackDown did better than Raw this week. Also, just want to let people know, for those that care, that might be NFL fans, and Jay specifically, Mark knows Jay, over at Talking WJ, he's a Browns fan himself. And the Browns just did make their selection number 1 overall, and they went with quarterback Baker Mayfield from Oklahoma. So Baker Mayfield, quarterback Oklahoma, number 1 overall pick for Cleveland. I would have went a little bit differently. My mock draft had something different, so I already have one wrong from my mock draft. So it's not who I thought or who I wanted. My mock draft actually had now I forget, but as the weeks went on, I actually thought, okay, maybe not that guy, maybe Josh Allen, to be the number one pick. I really enjoyed Josh Allen, and even though what happened last night that came out and yada yada, I still thought he deserved the number one pick. Baker Mayfield, too many red flags. He's already been compared to Johnny Manziel, and we know
Oh,
how Johnny failed and everything. He just seems. I mean, quarterbacks have arrogancy, but he just seems like an ass. So I don't trust him with an organization. I mean, yeah, he has the skills, but I don't know how determination and dedicated he's actually going to be in the NFL. I mean, hey, I like to be proven wrong. I want all these players, all 300, for all 7 rounds to make it and do well. Obviously, that's just my personality, but that doesn't not the case. And in Baker Mayfield's case, I didn't think he was deserving. Let's hear what Mel had to say.
I got to go to guys who weren't making plays because Baker is not 100%. So I think in the NFL, where you got defensive linemen that can run better than that, I think you got to be careful. So protect that 215-pound friend a little bit better before he's not going to survive the full season. He certainly is a ultimate competitor. He thinks he's invincible. The NFL will bring him very quick back.
So there, just Mel's thoughts on Baker. But anyway, just wanted to share that as we're talking about the greatest Royal Rumble event and others. But back to wrestling. SmackDown Live, I think, did better than Raw. Big Cass promo really did pretty well for me. The only issue I have with Big Cass and his promo skill that he needs to work on is that non-verbals, the facial expressions when he's cutting the promo. And also, it's like he's not even believing the stuff he's saying, as a heel.
He has a great delivery, though.
Yeah, I mean, and what he's saying is supposed to be impactful and being a heel and what he's saying. And some, he does show that fire and passion in his eyes, especially simply when Miz was ragging on him about, this is what you done for me now business. What have you done by sitting on your ass and nursing your injury? And then he stood up and gave him that stare, like that stuff. He did well. But when he was delivering his promo, at least to me, as great as it was, and I think it was really, really good, the thing he does have to work on, in my opinion, is the nonverbals of when you are delivering those lines to make it believable to the WWE audience. I mean, especially the casuals in that sense. So, believing more in what you're saying. It just seemed a little bit, to me, in his nonverbal part of it, though what he was saying was good, his looks and other stuff just didn't seem like they were of it connecting up what he was saying, in that way, making it a full, great, excellent A+ promo, though he also was dressed in nines and looking good there. I liked his line, though, about him being valued because he's tall, he's educated, and good looking. Those three characteristics that makes him money, as he said. And when he said money, did the whole belt thing, then I thought he was going to go like this or something with a regular money sign. But either way, it still was pretty good. I just thought that, again, not the rating part of it, I think he needs to. But what are your thoughts, or maybe critiques or positiveness that you take away from the Cash promo?
I feel like it's pretty much what you said already. Like I said earlier, he has great delivery, but it's the facial expression because it's really what we see more. We focus on that more than we focus on what is being said sometimes. And if you don't have that face, like I really mean it, then it's going to be hard to believe that you're saying what you're saying. Like it's a long. Everybody's not everybody's perfect, But I really, in the overall subject of Big Cass, I'm really surprised that they're pushing him the way that he is. Maybe because Enzo, he's not there anymore. It's kind of like you can't do Enzo and Big Cass, but you still can't just job a big 7-footer. I mean, I don't know. I really like Cass. I like where they're heading with him. Other than the facial expressions, I don't really see much that he needs to work on other than, like get a good chemistry with other wrestlers, but that's about it.
Yeah. But like I said, overall, it was SmackDown. And then in that contract signing with Charlotte Flair and Carmella was pretty interesting as well. I even mentioned on Twitter that, hey, Carmella still needs to sign the contract because we're not having a title match at Backlash. So, but they did have a WWE.com exclusive, I guess, video of Carmella, Renee Young tracking her down backstage and her signing the contract. But either way, I thought that was kind of interesting in that, the little things there. But Carmella kind of making fun of Charlotte right in front of her, doing the strut and otherwise, good heel work there. So looking forward to seeing how long this reign is for Carmella. Will it just be for a month? Will it be longer? Hopefully longer, but who knows? Who knows what WWE has planned for Princess of Staten Island for Carmella. Then again, I thought Bliss was going to hold the title longer. and other things going on with Alexa Bliss that was in the news here in the last couple of days. But beyond that, hopefully things go well for Bliss and things going well for Carmella, who now is the SmackDown Live Women's Champion. Now, of course, as we move on to talking about Jeddah, Saudi Arabia, and the Greatest Royal Rumble, there will be no women there, whether managers, interviewers, commentators, wrestlers, or alike. So there you go. So I'm going to be represented there and representing WWE. We have the Royal Rumble match and 7 championship matches. Then we also have the random throw together John Cena Triple H match, 1-on-1, along with the other random match between The Undertaker and Rusev. So let's go through the predictions, at least for you, because I already went through mine earlier. We'll start off with you with a title match. We'll start off with you being the IC Championship match in your prediction. We have the Fatal 4-Way match for said Intercontinental Championship in a ladder match. We have the champion defending said Intercontinental Championship, Seth Rollins, facing The Miz, facing Finn Balor, and also facing Samoa Joe. So who do you have winning that match and why?
I really want Joe to win, but I got a feeling Seth is going to retain the belt. Considering his title run was not that long so far. It's only been 2 weeks, but at the same time, he's been doing pretty good with the belt, keeping it pretty relevant. I'm gonna go with Seth Rollins on this. In a perfect world, I would say Samoa Joe, but don't forget Vince McMahon runs the game, so I believe Seth Rollins is gonna catch the dub in Saudi Arabia and leave walking with the IC title.
Okay, then. Moving right along, let's go to the other title match. And it's interesting you saying that because, as I was saying earlier on the show, that it's going to be really interesting to see where the IC and US end up here on what brand. Whatever happens, there could be a situation where both mid-card titles are on one brand for 1 week, for that 1 week period. And I know people will lose their minds on Twitter and otherwise tomorrow afternoon or tomorrow later in the day if they're unable to watch it due to school or work or whatever, finding out about it, that, they'd be going crazy like, oh, why is this doing WWE stupid and what the heck's going on, this and that. But you got to think forward thinking, and maybe not even that much forward thinking, just, 1 weekend forward thinking to the next Sunday at Backlash where one of those titles will go to the other brand. WWE is not going to keep it that way. But if WWE wants to troll their own fans because they can and people are still going to watch as much as people say they won't, and they will keep their network because they say they won't or they say they will and then they don't. We all know that's the truth. But in regards to the IC and US title, it's going to be interesting to see where they land, whether just tomorrow afternoon and then also at Backlash as well in the live thing. So anyways, for you predicting the next match, US title match, we have the champion Jeff Hardy defending against Jinder Mahal. Jinder Mahal making his rematch clause for a championship that he lost on his terms coming to Monday Night Raw through the shakeup being signed to Raw. So who do you have winning this match and why?
And you already know I love my boy Jinder Mahal, but he's not winning this one. It's Jeff Hardy, because he's on SmackDown, he's gonna get a good solo run. He's gonna get that vintage SmackDown Hardy, like the time he won the championship. He's gonna get something like that. I wouldn't be surprised, honestly, if Jinder Mahal does win, because the same way with Randy Orton losing to Jinder Mahal when he won the title, I mean, a lot of people weren't expecting that. So, I mean, if they want to pull that under the sleeve and do that, I guess, and then this might just be a little substitution for the India tour, like Kyron was talking about. I'm just saying, like, it's possible Jinder Mahal could win, but I doubt he will, because I'm sure Saudi Arabia loves Jeff Hardy more than they love Jinder Mahal. So I'm going to go with Jeff Hardy on this one. I feel like he's going to hold it, and he's going to get that run like he had a couple years ago.
Okay, all right. And then moving right along, actually, we'll go to the Undertaker Rusev match and the casket match. Do you see any chance, any percentage of a chance for Rusev to winning this? Because I think it should be a squared away Undertaker. I mean, at least what I'm hoping is at least a 5-minute match. If anything under that would certainly be but you have a Rusev being in a match with the Undertaker, be a good thing even in a loss, being literally buried, quote unquote, but not in the sense of his career. He'll be fine. But who do you have officially predicting in this match?
I really, really want Rusev Day to win because I love Rusev Day, man. Like I literally love the Rusev Day chants, the shirts. Every day is Rusev Day. Hey, we forgot to mention today is Rusev Day. Like we Rusev Day is every day. It's everywhere, no matter who you are, color, creed, background, you name it. But he's going against the Undertaker, and of all things, a casket match. He's going to lose. I'm telling you that now. It's very unfortunate, but he's going to lose. Undertaker has to win because it wouldn't make sense. I feel like he just came back off of a win in WrestleMania in a squash match. It's like it would only make sense. I'm sure you would agree with me, Steve. So I have Undertaker winning the match that pretty much he created. It'd be crazy if he lost a match that he made. And he's going to walk out there getting ready for next year to have a career versus career match against John Cena. I'm making my predictions early for next year. That's exactly what's going to happen.
All right. Well, they're having some emphasis there on that. Just updating here for the draft for those that care. I know Mark over there is an NFL fan, but for me,
Oh, for sure.
we have the number one overall pick. Then we have Saquon Barkley going to the Giants. Then for the Jets, Darnold did go to New York. So right now we're at 4, going back to Cleveland.
Wait, what was the pick?
For the Jets, they took Darnold.
Okay.
Yeah, Sam Darnold, quarterback to USC. So that's how that's going so far with the draft. Really going well. But anyways, moving forward to your predictions, your thoughts, and predicting Triple H versus John Cena one-on-one randomly thrown together here at this event there in Saudi Arabia. Who do you have winning?
That is definitely John Cena. And I feel that's John Cena easy. Triple H, he'll win every now and then, but Triple H's main role is to put people over, and he does it very well. He is now a mix of putting people over and taking over WWE in regards to like creative team, future, like what they're doing now in Saudi Arabia. That is now Triple H's role. He's responsible for NXT, making it one of the most groundbreaking, scenes in wrestling and sports entertainment. He's the only guy I know. Him and Cena too. I mean Cena too, but Triple H is the only guy I know that can consistently take loss after loss, and people won't even remember like that. But they know deep down backstage he's making wrestling better. So I got Cena winning this one. Cena could take an L too, but I just don't see it happening. Like I said, Triple H is all about the business for the most part now. Cena is on his last ride for what it feels like for me in regards to WWE. He's just not feeling it. That's what I could see from him sometimes. But yeah, I've seen him winning this one.
And so do I. Like I said, Mark wasn't able to be here earlier, so I'll just share to him here now that he's on who I have for the ones that we're predicting. For the U.S. title, I have Jinder Mahal actually winning back the title there. For the IC title, I have The Miz winning it there. So I have titles already switching hands to the other brand for those said matches in my predictions. Let's move on to a match that looks like it should be, square set. This should be like the easiest one to predict. If we did confidence points, this should be the one with the highest number. But never say never in this matchup where I actually predicted it the other way because, I can be funny like that and troll others. But that being the Raw Tag Team titles, the vacant Raw Tag Team Championships, Bray Wyatt and Woken, Matt Hardy, facing The Bar, who were signed to SmackDown Live, part of SmackDown Live now officially, technically, as of this moment.
Wow, they're signed to SmackDown Live?
Yeah, remember? They went over with the shakeup. So,
oh, wow.
Yeah, remember I talked about how I was surprised
that.
by that and everything. So, on Twitter and otherwise. But either way, I actually see The Bar winning and going back to Raw. Because of that fact, I was surprised they're going there. I think they are valued and highly by WWE brass, and I think it's one of the best provisions to keep them over there on Raw. Not saying that SmackDown Live don't deserve them. Be a great beneficial addition to SmackDown Live taking division. to have the bar. But you have the bar and you have Gallows and Anderson going to SmackDown Live. As good as that is, we don't need too much. We need things to be spread out, at least in the tag team division, between Monday Night Raw and SmackDown Live. So in that respect, I think the bar should go back to Monday Night Raw. So I do have the bar going back to Raw, winning the Raw tag team titles and winning that. But where do you go? Do you think it's clear cut and obvious because of the bar going to SmackDown? You think no, not WWE's not smart enough to do what I'm thinking they're going to do and predicting. Do you see it cut and dry that it will be Bray and Matt?
I'm honestly surprised that the bar went to SmackDown. And for SmackDown, that is a major plus. Now, excuse my French, shit just got real, Steve. The bar is on SmackDown Live? Dude, that is dope. I don't even remember hearing about that. But in regards to the Saudi Arabia match, I have this is honestly a hard one. I'm gonna have to say, and this is the Raw tag team. I'm gonna have to say Broken Matt Hardy and Woken Matt Matt Hardy and Bray
Broken,
Wyatt.
yeah.
Oh, we can say broken now.
Yeah, we can say whatever. It's WWE what they can say, I guess. But we can say whatever we dang well please. But either way, for me, I said I'd go in with the bar because it would be interesting to have. Smart, like I said, you have your number one team like a team. Well, you have the Usos and Bludgeon Brothers, the New Day, and now you've also brought in, excuse me, the club, Gallows and Anderson. So the club and the bar pretty much being equal to me. Have them split up meeting of the tag teams and have the bar back on Raw. The bar seemed to me again as I'm seeing how WWE would see it. 8-show flagship, have your best tag teams on that brand, let alone other divisions, women, men, other words. And so having the bar on Raw and having the club on SmackDown Live was the best way because I in my head seeing WWE seeing that as that way, meaning the club, yes, they're awesome and good, but the way they haven't been really used well on Raw, have them go to SmackDown Live, get a fresh start. Also, then to be in the quote unquote P show, making it better, and that roster already being stacked as it was in that point. So good for them. But the bar, I think they should have stayed on Raw. But now, with storyline purposes, making things a little bit more interesting. You have the bar winning during the pay per view, and hold on here, we got to pick in.
The 2018 NFL Draft, the Cleveland Browns select Denzel Ward, defensive back, Ohio State.
All right, Denzel Ward going to the Browns. But anyways, yeah, so that's certainly going to be interesting. That's who I have. But anyways, let's go over to SmackDown Live, shall we, Mark? Get your prediction for the SmackDown Live tag team title match. The Bludgeon Brothers facing off against the Usos. What do you have winning that one?
Usos are definitely not winning because the storyline is not going to be over. Naomi's okay. I'm sorry. I'm just going to clear the air on this one. Tuesday, Naomi comes out and does what she damn well pleases in this case. It really surprised me because I wasn't expecting her to do what she did. I thought more it was like she was going to like maybe Hurricanrana somebody, one of the Bludgeon Brothers. But I guess it was just more of a distraction. I like where they're going though. I really, 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 really like where they're going though because it's different. It's like, we talk about these eras, and you look at the era that we're in now. I don't know if we're still in the quote unquote reality era. I don't know if that's the case for us now, but I can definitely say with the past couple of years how storylines are being scripted, what is being brought up in these storylines, and how things are being done. This is definitely the reality era. I mean, the relationships are becoming more open and into the public and into storylines. Like look at Naomi and I can't even tell between the two. Jimmy J. I'm just gonna say one of the Usos. I mean, that was so low key until a couple years ago where Total Divas came up and stuff like that, and now they're kind of like bringing it into the midst of, hey, How about you guys come together and do this? And look at what happened now. I mean, we could see a possible manager at the same time a wrestler. Like Naomi could be the manager for the Usos. And at the same time, Russell, like, it's changing and it's actually really, really, really cool. And we look at the Miz and how they were never really public, in my opinion, from what I can remember. They were never really
No,
public
no.
like that. And now, you're looking at what the Miz is saying. It's like, this is kind of like some personal stuff. Like, she's my wife and we're having kids, and like I just gave birth, and my wife just gave birth to my daughter. Like, who told you to who told you to say all this?
Right.
Like, it's cool though. I like where they're going though, because it feels like we could connect to it in a different level as fans.
I like it, and it seems very interesting. And I actually think the catalyst of all this is because of the era that we live in, right?
Yeah.
At least for
Social
me,
media.
right? Social media era and things people already know, things. Well, whether rumor or not, but still know things, relationships and otherwise. That's why part of me really wishes, though I don't know if she actually would be interested in. That's her business. But would have really liked if Renee Young ever wanted to be a wrestler or a manager and be with
That
her
would be
manager
cool.
and her husband Dean Ambrose, as a manager, or just in his corner for a match or whatever, or be in a match, kind of like how we had at WrestleMania past year in Orlando, Florida, at WrestleMania 33, John Cena and Nikki Bella facing off against the Miz and Maurice, real age couple is facing off because all four of them are wrestlers, in that sense. So I think things being a lot different from when I was younger, when I was growing up. I mean, now I'm 30 years old, turned 30 yesterday, and how things were when I was growing up, and really social media not being really barely there at all. When I was going through high school, that's when Facebook was just starting. It was in its infant stage, so to speak, of life there for Facebook. And me being a person that sometimes has issue with change, I was still holding on and clinging to my MySpace for as long as I could. And then finally, succumbed to what happened and had to go over to Facebook. And now, the rest is history. But in that respect of how things were to then and how things were during the Attitude Era in general, and how things were looked and how things were more believable, especially for the younger fans, like that was me. Not just believing everything was real and calculated in that sense, but even other things that as I grew up, realized maybe wasn't so real of the storylines and characters, still not knowing everything like maybe others did that were actually in the know in the business. But now with social media, anybody never can know about the business. So that in itself is certainly interesting. But moving on to the other matches, I don't have the card in front of me, so I'm trying to remember off the top of my head. But we did the U.S., IC, Raw Tag, SmackDown Tag Team titles, getting no women's titles on the line.
It's unfortunate.
Let's go. Yeah, it is. It is unfortunate. But let's go with the Universal title. Roman Reigns versus Brock Lesnar. Who do you have in that one? Because that one's certainly going to be interesting, at least to me, on how things will go down there.
Okay, I honestly, I've discussed this before. I don't love Roman Reigns, but I don't hate Roman Reigns. But Roman Reigns better win this freaking title. I want to see my champion every day, every week, every house show, every tour. I understand you're going to be tired. As a champion, that's what is expected. But Brock Lesnar, 2012, when he came back and started beating the soul out of John Cena, I was like, oh, crap, this is UFC mixed with just wrestling. Brock Lesnar combining together and whooping John Cena's butt. This is cool. We flash forward about 6 years later, and we want Brock Lesnar out. It's not like I don't want him out. I just want to see him more than once a year. That's what it feels like. Roman Reigns, I have my pick on Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns, please win. This is the first time ever I'm actually stressing you to win. Roman, please, if you ever see this, Roman, please win. I am begging you. I will buy a t-shirt. I will buy your t-shirt, Roman.
Well, there you go. Here first. If Roman Reigns, or if I can speak, if Roman Reigns wins tomorrow and wins that championship for the title to actually, I don't know, be on the show every week with Roman Reigns, then Mark here, Mark Rambo will get a T-shirt, whether it's in the $5 bin or otherwise. That's Roman Reigns gear. So there you go. But I agree there. I mean, it would be smart to have him win. Though my prediction, again being wacky, I went with Brock Lesnar to retain. But we'll certainly see, obviously, what happens tomorrow there. Also,
I would be sick if Brock Lesnar won.
I'd be surprised, but then again, not surprised. Hearing the rumors about him and Lashley at SummerSlam, and that's when his contract's going to be up. So who knows? Who knows? Because it really what binds this and ties this is how long his contract is. We found out about the money wise, but we don't know about the length.
They're probably paying him a lot for a little.
And that's what I wonder. And I wonder what the little is, right? That's still unknown. Whether the little is just for one more big show being Disgrace or Rumble or even Backlash being that little time, or little time being just the 6 months to SummerSlam being little time. So however WWE proceeds and Brock Lesnar does, certainly interesting. Like I said, I did see that on Twitter with a picture of him, Kurt Angle, and The Undertaker sitting down for dinner. Not for the table for three, but just there in Saudi Arabia. But that was a kind of cool picture in itself. I was already seeing Undertaker in a suit, so that was interesting in its own right. But either way, let's go to the final title match. WWE Championship match, Shinsuke Nakamura, heel Shinsuke, facing face and champion AJ Styles. Who do you have winning this one?
It's difficult. I got my boy, the phenomenal, the face that runs the place, Steve, the champ that runs the camp.
Yeah, but I don't know if he runs the camp anymore. I mean, it is now Paige's house, right? So
no. AJ Styles was there before Paige was, I think. Something.
Well, he was, yes, but it's just interesting, you have Paige, with the whole "this is my house" thing, stick, and AJ Styles, champ runs camp, the house AJ Styles built. So AJ Styles built the house, and it's now Paige's house. How does that dynamic work? Right? The things you think about, right? But either way, yeah, you're going with AJ Styles. Or who are you going with for?
I got my boy AJ Styles winning this one, man.
All right. See, now I have AJ as well, but I have it in Shinsuke getting, hitting them in the bollocks again. Low blow number 4. And Shinsuke, in a sense, getting himself DQ'd. Why he would do that, I don't know. But I just see that happening that way because they're going to have a match again the next weekend at Backlash. And if AJ Styles just wins clean, though that would be cool, it makes sense. But if he wins clean, why does Shinsuke get another shot, right? Why would he get another shot just, quote unquote, days later or a week later at the Backlash pay-per-view event that's still branded now? Just why? Because Shinsuke Nakamura now he's a heel? Okay, maybe in backstage reasons, but in WWE Universe, cryptidness, and storyline reason, why would he deserve it? So that's why I think the low blow aspect and in a way that way, maybe he does it because AJ Styles has him on the ropes, and instead of that, and he just does a low blow out of sheer desperation. Yes, he lost the match, but he feels he's going to get another opportunity. You can have play up to that. So that's how I have AJ Styles technically winning, and them having another match at the Backlash pay-per-view event. I'm really looking forward to that. The final match I think on the card is the Royal Rumble match itself with 50-man, greatest ever, biggest ever thing there in Saudi Arabia for a trophy, for that Royal Rumble of a match. Who do you have winning the 50-man Royal Rumble match?
I have two choices. I either have Daniel Bryan or Braun. Isn't Braun Strowman in the Royal Rumble too? Yes, Daniel Bryan or Braun Strowman. Those two are the ones with the most momentum right now. And to top that, Daniel Bryan needs something to, in this case, start off with. I mean, he's bound to look like going to have an amazing year on SmackDown if he stays on there. Braun Strowman needs something under his belt because he had a 9-year-old as a tag team partner in Mania, which was kind of disappointing to some people. I kind of thought it was disappointing, but looking back at it, it was definitely interesting. I thought it was cool. But it's either of those two. We're going to see a lot of returns, a lot of possible debuts just for Royal Rumble. Some NXT guys, I don't know. Yes, definitely gonna be an interesting one, and I got my boy either D Bizzle, the goat face killer, or Braun Strowman, the monster among men, the 6'8", 400-pound beast who'll probably take off my head if you wanted to.
Oh yeah, probably. I also want to go with my boy there, Baron Corbin, part of the match, but it's not happening either. Um, you have big things for Big Cass. He wanted though as well. Though it's not like he's returning at that show. He already came back, coming to SmackDown Live. So as much as that could have been a big moment with him returning technically, at that Rumble match, being a surprise entrance in this Greatest Royal Rumble and then winning it would have been a nice way to reintroduce him and then cut that heel promo on the SmackDown show. But either way, I will officially predict Braun Strowman to win the match and win the trophy, win that trophy for the Greatest Royal Rumble there with the 50 man. So that's pretty much everything for the Greatest Royal Rumble event. Not so much just to do with news. I mean, I know the news about the no women in Saudi Arabia thing, touched upon that, but also I talked about the news about Alexa Bliss in the last couple of days and why she wasn't as active during her match in the 10-woman main event on Monday Night Raw. So that was interesting in its own right. I mean, I brought that up on Twitter too. So I don't know if you want to bring any news or response to any of the topics I brought up here before we leave, Mark.
Regarding Alexa?
Yeah, Alexa Bliss or no women in Saudi Arabia.
Well, in regards to the no women in Saudi Arabia, I'm actually very disappointed. I mean, I understand everybody, certain countries have their, their things and their ways and stuff like that. I'm cool with that. That's been going on since, the beginning of time pretty much. I mean, not really the beginning of time, but it's been a long time since they've been like that. So I can understand, but considering where the women's evolution, whatever you want to call it, where it's going now, it's kind of like putting a stop onto the whole thing. And it's unfortunate. It really is, because I feel like they will do very, very well. And I'm still surprised. Even then, can't they just, put like body suits on them or just like cover their skin or something like that? I mean, I don't know the details behind it, but I'm sure there's possibly some ways that they could have done stuff. But at the end of the day, we all have to just, accept that L, especially for the women. But don't worry, they're gonna tear the house down. I got a feeling they're gonna main event next year. Mania. I got a feeling Mania they're gonna main event.
There you go. If they do, they have that Rousey Flair match, for the main event next year, just made there in New York, and hopefully we are there live and in person for that to happen. See that history being made for the women's division WWE. Anything to say about the Alexa Bliss story? Did you hear about that?
I'm sorry, what'd you say? In regards to Alexa Bliss?
Yep.
Alexa Bliss.
Yes, little
To me, she's already looked very attractive. Enhancement surgery or not, she's still gonna look attractive. It's her choice. It's her choice, and I respect that. But it's still one. I feel like certain stuff like this, it shouldn't really be like mainly discussed, because it's like, if she wants to do that, you guys don't have to bash on her, because I'm sure there's people bashing on her. Oh, that wouldn't help you anyway. You still a terrible wrestler or something like that. Like, don't bash her, bro. I'm just saying, like. So, yeah, that's interesting. I wasn't expecting it. That's why she probably wore a shirt Monday, which makes perfect sense.
Yeah, because she's still healing from it. But yeah, I agree with you 100%. She was hot before. She's still hot now. And just from her personality, it seemed like something that she wouldn't do. You know what I mean? Like she was subconscious and stuff like that. But she was younger growing up. Hearing her backstory in her life, and because her real name being Lexi Kaufman, and everything, and her life growing up and being bullied and this and that, but never being like, oh, now I have to change it. Now, even when she was an adult, turned 18. Obviously that's when you could have, because you're, can do whatever you want then, but still not, her journey's a wrestler, and talk about her anorexia story when she was cheerleading. Point is, for the personality, at least from what I know on the outside looking in, didn't think she'd ever do that breast enhancement because A, she didn't need it from my point of view personally, and B, the personality didn't think she would do. Well, and the fact that she knew she doesn't need to do this, she doesn't have to do that to be think of herself as beautiful or sexy or anything like that. And comfortable in her own skin, just like as Nia Jax is comfortable in her own skin. You don't hear her having like gastric bypass surgery or anything to lose weight. She's happy and proud of her figure. She should be. She's a beautiful, attractive woman herself.
Very.
So, for Nia Jax and for Leslie Bliss, that's why they both are friends. How sometimes friendships happen. Sometimes it's because of mutual interest in general. Friends becoming friends. That's just how it goes. Sometimes it happens. I think at least in I think it's because of their backstory individually of how that was for them and how they were, their lives and otherwise and how they relate to each other, and then just in general getting along now. Anyway, there was a trade here in the draft, pick 7, now going to the Bills. They did have a lot of ammunition, so they did take this pick. Let's hear who the Bills take.
The Tampa Bay Buccaneers has traded the 7th pick to the Buffalo Bills. 57th pick in the 2018 NFL Draft. The Buffalo Bills select Josh Allen.
Yes.
Wyoming.
Awesome. I'm very happy for Josh. I want him to be selected, and that boy is selected. All right, congratulations to Mr. Allen. Joshua Allen. I know he was in the news late last night as I was finishing up my birthday. There was some news coming out about Josh, but now he's selected to the Buffalo Bills. Happy for him. As much as I would have liked him coming to Green Bay, we have Aaron Rodgers, so that wasn't going to happen. But Buffalo moving up, getting Josh. Wish him luck there in Buffalo. Hopefully Buffalo can turn around and go to the playoffs again. But as for here at the Ramble, I think we're done talking about everything we need to talk about. Right, Mark, if there's anything else you want to bring to the table, you're welcome to let me know. If not, let people know where they can find you on the social media. And otherwise.
Well, you guys can, of course, find me on social media. My YouTube is MFLG Mark Rambo. My Twitter is Mark is Rambo. The M, the I, and the R are all uppercase. My Instagram is Live Like Ram. Make sure to follow me. And if you guys are really big on Snap and don't like instant messaging people, feel free to add me on Snap. I will more than likely add you back unless you're like one of those people who like to creep out other people by just acting weird. Then I probably won't. But yeah, feel free to talk. I'm always open.
Sounds good. Welcome to follow me on Twitter at WNShow Podcast. Welcome to obviously subscribe to this channel, ring the bell, be part of the notification squad, know when videos go live or sometimes posted and uploaded otherwise. So I'll be enjoying the rest of the NFL draft. My Green Bay Packers selecting at number 14. I know obviously we won't be on air to watch that, but I certainly will be giving my thoughts on that next week on Talking Packers with Steve. My NFL podcast is back. Then it'll go on a mini hiatus until the season, but still it's back. And I'll have the review of the draft next week on Wednesday night. I'll have that episode podcast. I'll give you my grades out to all 32 and favorite picks and this and that. So I'll be talking, whether I have people there or not. I'll talk about my thoughts on the NFL draft at that point, Talking Packers with Steve. But beyond that, welcome to follow me on Twitter otherwise, and hope you all have a great rest of your evening. I will be back tomorrow with videos with Greatest Royal Rumble event, and also Life in Pieces, the TV show that does air on Thursday nights on CBS. Life in Pieces TV show, my review of that latest episode tomorrow, probably in the morning for said pay-per-view or special event for WWE. So you all have a great rest of your evening. Enjoy it. Enjoy your weather wherever you're living, and stay safe. And above all else, as always, take care.
Bye.